You are about to learn everything you need to know about starting a podcast, including some easy to implement AI magic wizardry tools that will help you get your podcast launched faster than ever. Feel free to skip through the chapters, but don't forget to save the video because you're going to want to go back to it later on. The first step of the podcasting journey is conceptualizing. Everyone wants to start recording, editing, and doing their AI magic, but this step is crucial. For some of you, conceptualizing might be easy. You know what you want to say, you know how to say it, you're good to go. But for some of the more introverted people out there, this might actually be a little bit of a longer process. So I'm going to fill you in on a little secret. Your voice doesn't just matter, it inspires. And I know that sounds silly and cliche, but it's true. Because if you think about every conversation you've had, every job you've worked, every interest you've taken a part of has helped mold your voice into the one-of-a-kind entity that it is. All you need to do now is be ready to share it. You can opt to go completely solo and share your words and your ideas with the world all on your own, where you can share ideas with 3, 5, 10 friends all at once. Think about the podcasts that you listen to and think about why you like them. Once you're able to determine this, it becomes a lot easier to figure out what you want your own podcast to look like. And during this time of conceptualizing, you can also figure out if you want to do audio or if you want to add in video as well, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Now, I prefer to pair audio and video together. This way, I feel more connected to my listeners with the visual element. They can see my studio, they can see the Harry Potter collection that I have, they can check out the beautiful, very real greenery, and I really think that it builds that bond and that connection together. You can use a platform like Podcastle to record, edit, slice and dice those little snippets of your video podcast to later show on Instagram, on TikTok. This is when you should also figure out your podcast name, your cover art, your brand image, all of the things that make you and your podcast unique. But in order to do this, you need to know who you're speaking to and what you're speaking about. This part is fun, but don't let it hold you up. You're not married to it. You can change this information at any time. If it's shorter than Britney's first wedding, honestly, it's totally fine. And while you're down there soul searching, racking your brain, trying to look for any of the cool editing tricks we're going to teach you, hit the subscribe button because you know you don't want to miss anything. After finding your voice and creating your podcast's general brand, it's time for step 2, planning your content. First step is to record your intro. Now, the way that you do this is totally up to you. Some people don't do anything to prepare. They know exactly what they want to say, and they're easy and comfortable to be able to talk off the cuff and have it sound good. For first-time podcasters and those just starting out though, I recommend having an outline. This way, you're able to get a good idea of what you want to talk about during your podcast. Now, for the next step, it might seem more daunting to you than the first 2 steps, but I promise that it's not. Setting up your recording studio is super exciting. You get to pick out your furniture, your decor, your amazingly real greenery to make your podcast studio feel like you. But what can seem daunting is selecting that recording equipment. Luckily, in 2024, all you really need is a good microphone, some mildly decent lighting, and an all-in-one recording, publishing, and editing software like Podcastle. If you're watching this video, you've likely already been traumatized by other podcast videos or even by other podcasters who are recommending a software from 2011 that doesn't do what you need to do, or they're recommending using the settings on your PC. Thankfully, my friends, we're out of the dark ages. You can use a software like Podcastle to record, edit, and publish your podcast all within truly just a few clicks. You can literally do it on your phone. And whether you're speaking to the world in your cozy bedroom, in a crowded train station, on top of Mount Kilimanjaro, Podcastle's built-in audio enhancer ensures that your voice stays equal and balanced for up to 10 podcast guests. That even includes maybe that chill goat that you met on top of the mountain. Because if you're already interested in podcasts, you already know that sharing is caring, and caring is power. This is why we designed a software that not only connects you to the big wide world, but also to the people that you already know and love. So if you're lucky enough to have a few friends, or maybe you're still in contact with that particularly well-mannered goat you met, make sure to subscribe for our full guide to podcasting with guests. After I've stopped plugging the channel and after you finish recording, it is time to edit. Now, for most podcasters, this step is the one that they dread the most. They think it's going to be time-consuming and finicky, but I promise you, it doesn't have to be. With Podcastle's AI tools, you have the opportunity to add titles, names, backgrounds, logos, anything you need to make your podcast stand out. Because we believe that AI tools should be simple, even if you're totally new to the podcasting world. Podcastle has an amazing AI tool called Magic Dust. And what it does is it takes away any of the background noise and equalizes your audio for a smoother listening experience, even if there's changes in volume in your original recording. Even better, Podcastle's super smart and super talented audio team was able to recognize that AI can remove all those annoying little pauses you have in your podcast. So even if you're a total newbie and have no idea what you're doing, I promise you'll sound like a pro. Another cool feature is voice cloning. I love having voice cloning as a backup. In case I have a stuffy nose or a cold, with a voice clone, I can completely clone my voice and it sounds even more natural, even more balanced. Now is the exciting part. I know I've said every part is exciting, but this one truly is exciting because it is publishing time, baby. To start, you can publish your podcast right on Podcastle, which is quickly becoming a great way to find fantastic podcasts in its own right. If you want to betray my trust and my friendship and this great rapport we've built, that's fine too. Podcastle also makes it easy for you to publish your podcast on well-known sites such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I recommend leveraging any social media following you might have, any community you might be a part of, because you want people to know that you have something to say and that you are ready to share it. So you've probably gathered by now that launching a podcast is easy and you can get started right now. You have no reason not to. Go to podcastle.ai for more info. Podcastle is free to use and you can upgrade at any time or not. If you decide you do want to elevate your podcasting career, use code PODTUBE50 at checkout to save up to 50% on your first month subscription. Thanks for watching and see you next time.